Let's stop lying to ourselves. Cheating doesn't crash into your life like thunder. It seeps in, like a silent leak in your foundation. Slow, unseen, but lethal. By the time you notice, it's already under your skin, in your thoughts, in your sleep. Here's what no one says out loud. When a woman cheats, she never makes a clean exit. She leaves smudges on your habits, your confidence, your instincts. Most men brush them off. They rationalize, excuse, hope. But deep down, you knew. You just didn't want to know. This isn't a video about being paranoid. It's about recognizing patterns. Because if you've ever had that cold knot in your stomach, that voice that whispers, something's changed, this message is for you. Let's break down the warning signs. Sign number 1. Her presence remains, but her connection doesn't. She's still there, still makes coffee, still says hi, but it's robotic, mechanical. She smiles, but it's the kind of smile you give the cashier. You speak, and her replies are automatic, not intentional. She tells you she's tired, overwhelmed, busy, but you're not feeling distance, you're feeling detachment. That invisible shift where love turns into obligation. You're not imagining this. She's here physically, but mentally, emotionally, she's miles away. And Stoic men, they don't chase the fantasy. They notice the energy. They trust what their body picks up before the mind tries to explain it away. When the warmth fades and all that's left is routine, you're not in a relationship anymore. You're in a performance. And she's only giving you the bare minimum, just enough to avoid suspicion, just enough to keep the questions quiet, just enough so you don't leave before she does. But a real man doesn't stay silent when intimacy turns into obligation. He sees through the mask, and he listens to what isn't being said. Sign number 2. She starts living a second life, right in front of you. No explosions, no yelling, just silence, precision, secrets wrapped in politeness. You used to know everything about her, from her weird office stories to what she ordered for lunch. Now, her world has locked doors, and you're stuck outside knocking. She still shares things, but only safe things, only the version of her that feels edited, filtered. And then there's the phone. What used to sit face up is now turned over, locked, hidden, muted, guarded. You didn't ask for her password. You didn't accuse her of anything, but suddenly you're being treated like the intruder. She tells you you're paranoid, that you're controlling, that you're reading too much into things. But that's deflection, because truth doesn't hide, and love doesn't flinch under honest curiosity. A woman who values peace doesn't cultivate confusion. She doesn't label your gut feeling as insecurity. What you're seeing is the gap widening between who she was and who she's becoming. Not more private, not more mature, just more distant, more careful, more rehearsed. And when a woman starts guarding her phone like it's her diary, it's not about boundaries, it's about secrecy. And secrecy always has a motive. Sign number 3, the body remains, but the intimacy is gone. You're still sleeping in the same bed, but it's no longer a place of connection. It's just geography, her back turned to you, every night. The silence between you, heavy, or worse, there's still sex, but it's hollow, too scripted, too intense. Like she's trying to convince you, or maybe herself, that everything is still normal. You start questioning yourself. Am I imagining this? Did I do something wrong? But here's what you need to understand. When a woman's soul is with someone else, her body may still be with you. But it doesn't belong to the relationship anymore. Intimacy without presence isn't closeness, it's theater. And every time you ignore that feeling, every time you tell yourself, maybe she's just tired, you're not protecting love, you're betraying your own clarity. A real man doesn't fear the change in touch. He reads it like a language, because sex isn't about mechanics, it's about connection. And when connection dies, what's left is performance. And the longer you pretend not to notice, the more you drift from your own self-respect. Cheating never starts with a kiss. It starts with the detachment, the vague answers, the low-effort affection, the dead eyes behind the fake smiles. And men? We have a habit of calling those things phases. We call them stress, or mood swings, or being busy. But they're not. They're exit signs. She may not be gone yet, but she's already packed emotionally. And once a woman begins rationing love, hiding in plain sight, and offering you presence without intimacy, she's not just drifting. She's already deciding what life looks like without you. A Stoic man doesn't beg for closeness. He doesn't chase a version of her that no longer exists. He doesn't cling to smoke and pretend it's still fire. He notices. He accepts. And he lets go before he loses himself in the process. Sign number 4. She creates conflict that feels manufactured. You didn't text her back right away. Suddenly you don't care. You left a coffee mug in the sink. Now she's acting like you never pay attention. You answered her question honestly. Now she's offended by your tone. At first you're confused. You apologize. You overthink everything. You retrace your steps, replay what you said, wondering how something so small became so personal. But you're not missing anything. This isn't about the mug. It's not about the message. And it's definitely not about your tone. It's about distance. She's not arguing with you. She's wrestling with the guilt she doesn't want to admit exists. And when guilt starts to grow, it needs a target. It needs a scapegoat. So she manufactures tension, not because you've changed, but because she has. When a woman starts crossing emotional boundaries, or is entertaining the idea, she must justify the betrayal in her mind. And the easiest way to do that, make you the problem. If you're inattentive, if you're insensitive, if you're too quiet, too blunt, too anything, then her actions become a form of self-preservation, not betrayal. Here's where it gets twisted. She'll start to believe it. Then she'll try to make you believe it. And if you don't catch it, you'll fall right into the trap. Trying to fix what was never broken, questioning your worth, shrinking yourself just to keep her comfortable. But a Stoic man sees the pattern. He knows that not every fight is an invitation to engage. Some battles are distractions, smokescreens designed to mask deeper disloyalty, because when someone starts conflicts that feel off, when the tension doesn't match the crime, it's not communication, it's camouflage, it's misdirection, so you'll focus on your flaws instead of noticing her shift in loyalty. So what do? You don't beg for peace. You don't try to win a debate with someone who's already rewritten the script. You step back, you protect your mind, and most importantly, you refuse to play a game designed to break you, because when conflict becomes a weapon, the only winning move is not playing. Sign number 5. She's planning a future without you in it. This isn't loud. There's no dramatic exit, no suitcase by the door. It's quiet, so quiet you almost miss it. But then, the phrasing changes. She used to say we, now it's I've been thinking. I want to travel more. I need to find myself. I just feel like I'm evolving. But somehow, you're not part of any of those sentences anymore. The dreams you once shared have turned into solo plans. Your presence used to be part of her vision. Now, it's a detail she's editing out. And here's the dagger that breaks most men. She doesn't tell you to leave. She just makes sure you stop feeling like you belong. She doesn't break up. She just creates so much emotional space that you start fading into the background. You ask her what's going on. She says you're overreacting, that you're insecure, that nothing's changed, but it has, and you know it. A Stoic man doesn't take gaslighting as clarity. He sees withdrawal for what it is, preparation. She's already halfway gone, first in her heart, then in her mind. And by the time her body leaves, she's already been gone for months. Those moments where she said, I just need time. They weren't requests, they were countdowns. While you held on, she practiced letting go. While you kept showing up, she was learning how to live without you. And now, her hugs are hollow. Her words feel scripted. Her eyes don't meet yours with warmth, just tolerance. Here's what you need to understand. She's not lost. She's not confused. She's just rehearsing her exit. She's mentally removed you from her story before physically removing herself from yours. And if you don't recognize that truth, you'll become a ghost in a relationship that no longer exists. But a grounded man? He doesn't chase what's already left. He doesn't beg for crumbs from someone who's serving a feast elsewhere. He doesn't wait around for someone to officially leave when their energy left long ago, because dignity doesn't plead. It walks, quietly, completely, without looking back. The brutal truth. Most won't say cheating doesn't start when her body betrays you. It starts when her soul does, when she stops showing up emotionally, when she replaces affection with excuses, when her energy withdraws and she dares you to notice. It starts in the unanswered texts, the conversations filled with silence, the fake smiles, the "I'm fine" that makes your gut twist. And while you're busy trying to be understanding, you're slowly giving up pieces of yourself to someone who's already moved on in her mind. But you don't need a confession. You don't need evidence. You need to trust the signs your soul already sees. A Stoic man doesn't wait for betrayal to become undeniable. He honors his own clarity. And he walks away, not because he's weak, but because he refuses to stay where he's no longer valued. So let's call it what it is. If she had to disconnect to find herself, she was never really yours to begin with. If this message cut through your fog, drop the word clarity in the comments, because clarity doesn't hurt. It frees you. And if you're done doubting your instincts, second-guessing your worth, and waiting for someone to treat you right, subscribe, because here we don't chase illusions, we sharpen awareness, and we never fear the truth.